Hey guys, how's it going? This week, I wanted to talk about something a bit different than what I've been talking about. I've been talking about, in the last few videos, kind of matter and form, and even before that I was talking about kind of what a Catholic image of heaven looks like. So in today's video, I want to talk about the other scope of that. What does it look like to be damned? To not be in heaven. That is, what is hell? See, I think this is something really important for us to understand. And yes, you read the thumbnail right. I would rather be thrown into a pit of fire than suffer what true hell actually is. Now, I want to preface all this in saying that I am looking at this from a very Thomistic standpoint. So we get a lot of this way of thinking from Thomas Aquinas. It's not necessarily the only way of thinking about this from a Catholic perspective, but it is a very valuable one. So, as I talked about in the last few videos, we're going to start with the final cause. Now, if you haven't seen the other videos, a little recap for that one. There are 4 causes and that make a thing what they are. 4 things. One of the most important ones, the one that comes before all else, is the final cause. The final cause is the purpose a thing is made for. What function does it fulfill, or what reason was it made for? A chair is made to be sat on. So its final cause is to be sat on, right? So it's that final end. Why it was made to begin with, what function it fulfills, and how the thing becomes truly fulfilled itself. A chair can be it's truly fulfilling its purpose when it's being sat upon. So a Catholic perspective of heaven is to think about the total fulfillment of our final cause as humans, which has always been this big question that people ask, what is the meaning of life? Which is a rather misnomer kind of question. It doesn't really know what it's asking. But one big part of what it's asking is, why are we here? What were we made for? And the Catholic Church answers this in a very beautiful way, I think. Basically, it means to be in relationship with God. God is the primary focus on all of our powers. Our ability to be intelligent is focused on God's rational nature. And our intellect is our preeminent power. It is our greatest power. And so, as our greatest power, it is the greatest thing to be fulfilled. And that is fulfilled in God. Our ability to be intelligent and to be rational is most fulfilled in God. And all of our other powers are also totally fulfilled in God. This is not hell, you'll note. This is a view of what heaven is. Heaven is this kind of total fulfillment. It is being in such perfect union and relationship with God that we are totally fulfilled in every aspect of our being. We can be totally happy, lacking depravity of any kind, because we are in perfect relationship with God. Thomas Aquinas calls this the beatific vision, that time when we will be able to stare God in his face, fully understanding every bit of it. Totally unrestrained from us, that we can interact without a fog between us. This is what heaven looks like. The total fulfillment of all your being in God. Hell, on the other hand, is just the opposite of that. Hell is not a fiery pit. It's not being burned for all eternity. That's something that is an illustration used in the Gospels. And it's a very good illustration to kind of give us an idea of this suffering and torment that hell will be like. But if heaven is a lot more than like being floating on clouds and, maybe playing harps and just everybody loving each other, like, if there's so much more to heaven than like that stereotype, we got to think that there's got to be more to hell. It's not just being burned or whipped or tortured or whatever kind of horrible punishment you might think. It is the absolute lack of relationship with God. It is taking that thing we are made for, our total purpose, the thing that when is fulfilled, we are totally happy, that whole function and purpose of our existence to begin with. And we totally detach from it in every way, every possible amount, not just a little bit, not just as if we were having a bad day, or things just didn't work right, or we just couldn't understand the problem we were working on, but absolute, total, and perfectly blinded from God, that we could not fulfill our purpose in any possible way whatsoever. That is hell. It is not just being burned alive. It's not just suffering. It is the total lack of all things that bring about our fulfillment and happiness at all. I like to think that we could, in hell, go about our daily lives and attempt to function, attempt to do the things that bring us joy, and they just don't bring us joy. The thing about them that makes us happy is just not there. But in the most total and absolute sense of every aspect of reality in our lives together, it is pure and total depravity. So yeah, I'd rather be thrown into a flaming pit, because at least then my pain receptors are working. They're doing their job. My pain receptors' function has been fulfilled in that image. There's some good in that, albeit not a comfortable good, right? That's not hell. We might call it hellish. We might use that kind of term in our day-to-day language. But when we talk about the hell of the damned, where those who don't make it to heaven after Jesus' final coming and in the end days, that is a very different thing altogether. Now, the good thing is, God doesn't just take us and say, well, you're gonna be going to hell. Like, I just decided that. Right? The Catholic Church tells us that God does not decide. God does not destine anybody from hell from the moment of their conception. He does that for heaven. There are people that he destines for heaven as a guarantee by a fact of their creation. Not for hell. He does not do that for hell. There's things that we can do. We can work our way out of hell and make it to heaven before we make it there. That is, if we go to hell, it'll be our choice. Now, why would anybody ever walk away from God? Why would anybody ever walk away from the object of their total fulfillment? I couldn't tell you why. But God allows it. And we will make that choice. Those who go to hell will be there by their choice. And that's because God's not going to force us into heaven. It wouldn't be heaven for us if he did. If somebody truly despised those things, that kind of fulfillment, if they were so turned away from it, they would see God and walk away. And relationships go both ways. God wants us to be in a relationship with him. He created us for that purpose, so that we could have a relationship with him and be in heaven. That's why he made us. But he'll let us walk away from it. Because that's a choice that we can make. Because that is how it can be possible at all for us to walk into heaven and be happy with it. Because we'll have chosen to be there. Hey guys, bit of a shorter one for you today. If you liked it, please hit the like button. If you have any thoughts, throw them in the comment box below. I try to respond to every comment, and I might just make a video talking about something in your comment as well. If you want to see more videos like this, then hit the subscribe button. That way I will show up in your feed. Thank you guys so much. God bless.